All right. Hope hopefully this is on. Yep, we're on. All right. So this is the heart dissection. Okay. So the first things first is you want to look at the heart. Okay. You want to make sure that you know kind of the orientation of how this sits in the body. Okay. So this is the superior side, and then this would be the inferior side. Okay. Um, you also want to make sure you know which one is the anterior and which one is the posterior part of the heart. So how I can tell that this is the anterior side of the heart is because of this line right here. Okay? This line is separating the left side of the heart with the right side of the heart. The left side of the heart is going to be bigger because it is pumping blood to all parts of the body. Okay, so you need a lot more muscle tissue to get it to the tips of your toes versus the right side just pumping to the lungs. Okay? So this likewise, this kind of has a line down the line a lot of the times. This is going to be the posterior part of the heart, but you always want to make sure you get your orientation because when it kind of splits out like this, it can get confusing, and every year people get questions wrong about not knowing which side is the left and which side is the right side of the heart. Also, if you look on the inside of the heart, you can tell that this is the left side because it has thicker walls and it's going to be go all the way down to the apex of the heart. Okay, let's get some exterior anatomy of the outside of the heart. Okay, so first off, this point is the apex right here. All this yellow stuff is going to be adipose tissue. Okay, and down here, a lot of these lines are going to be coronary blood vessels that are going to actually be feeding the heart oxygen and glucose from the actual blood. So, and we'll talk about that more in class. Okay. So, let's open the heart. Okay. Oh, and the auricles. This right here is the left side of the heart, so this would be the left auricle. This is the right auricle because this is the right side of the heart. Okay. We'll talk more about the blood vessels that come out of the heart in a little bit. Okay. Let's open it up. Okay. This right here is going to be your left and right side, left and right. Okay. So put it together, take it apart. Okay. So right here, let's start with the left side of the heart. Okay. So this one's cut up a little bit, but you can really see it's very good. It's a very good example of how you can see the atrium. This would be your left atrium versus your left ventricle. Okay. And if you look at those diagrams that you have on classroom, you can see that the valve that is going to separate the left atrium and the left ventricle is the mitral or bicuspid valve. Okay, and you can really see how it changes color, especially. Okay, this left ventricle is then going to come up and up here. It's going to go out through the aorta, and you can see up here too. This is the aorta, and the aorta is going to have multiple openings on top. Okay, but especially right here, this valve, it's not as thick as the mitral valve. This is going to be your aortic valve. Okay, so you can actually see it on this heart. Not all hearts that you guys have, you'll be able to see the aortic valve. It just kind of depends on how the heart is cut. Okay, so the opening, the blood vessels that feed into the left side of the heart is your pulmonary veins, and this is going to take oxygenated blood into your heart. Okay, then let's talk about the right side of the heart. So this is your right side of the heart, and this is going to be pretty much your ventricle. Okay, but if you look, I don't know if you guys can see up here, kind of where it kind of turns this lighter color up top. Okay, that is going to be your right atrium. So this up here where it's kind of lighter, kind of similar to right here, kind of almost as milky in color, this is going to be your right atrium, and then on bottom is going to be your left atrium. Okay, the blood vessel that goes into your right atrium is going to be your superior vena cava. So if you take this, you poke it out, right, that is going to be your superior vena cava. Okay, so should be able to locate those things, and that is going to go into your heart. Okay, into your right atrium, into your left, or into your right ventricle. Okay, then how it leaves the heart is through the pulmonary trunk. So if you put this in, it's kind of hard to tell. You can maybe stick your finger or put a pointer up there, but this is going to go out through your pulmonary artery. And if you look like this, what I did is I just stuck the pointer through it, but this is, the right ventricle, and that is going to be feeding out into the pulmonary artery. And if you look at the pulmonary artery, it kind of wraps up and around to the side, and this is going to go to each lung where the blood will become oxygenated. Okay? All right. So the three layers of the heart are going to be your epicardium, your myocardium, which is all the muscle, and then your endocardium is this lighter stuff inside all of the chambers, okay? The epicardium is on the very outside, and it is not the adipose tissue. If you can look right here, it is slightly different in color, okay? It's the very outside. It's not very thick. The myocardium is the muscle, and that's going to be the thickest, okay? The septum is dividing the left side and the right side of the heart, so the left ventricle and atrium versus the right ventricle and atrium, okay? And this one's kind of weirdly cut, kind of has this chunk out in the middle. This whole thing would be your septum, okay? All right. Let's just finish up with just going through the blood through the heart. So let's just talk about it starting in the body into the heart, okay? Goes into the heart via the superior vena cava, right? So goes in, it's this side right here, okay? Goes into the heart right there. Superior vena cava to the right atrium, through the tricuspid valve, right there, into the right ventricle, out into the pulmonary artery, okay, where it goes into the lungs, where it becomes oxygenated, goes back into the heart via the pulmonary vein, into the left ventricle, through the mitral valve, into the left ventricle, out through the aorta and the aortic valve to the body, where it becomes oxygenated. Okay? I think the last thing I forgot to talk about is the chordae tendineae and the papillary muscle. If you look right here, this muscle, these little cords is the chordae tendineae. They kind of look like little guitar strings or spider silk. Okay? And then the muscle down here where they attach, right, is the papillary muscle. And these are going to hold the valves shut so that blood doesn't backflow back into the heart. Okay? That's all. Have fun.